The plot thickens as more information has come to light. Now here's Kimberly Gogan with the Office of the Guardian. Hello, Kim.
Good morning. Where are you?
I'm on Eastern time, so it's afternoon my time.
Okay. Good afternoon, good morning.
Yes. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Sorry about the little bit of delay here. Things are really starting to heat up everywhere since the disappearance of a lot of these OITC accounts, and a lot has been going on for the last 2 days. So,
okay.
Shall we start with the plot thickens?
Yes.
Okay, so the Angel Marcos guy that we showed you in the last news report is actually still in jail, but still operating.
Okay.
But it turns out he's part of a larger network of people. Now, in the past, there were 3, usually men, that were what you would call the ultimate head of the Order of the Black Sun. Okay. They were over predominantly the Eagles, and one of them played the role of the good guy, or a white, they call him the white person. Like, there's no real title for this guy. Okay. The other one was neutral. He was playing the role of balance, keeping things neutral, and then the other one would be considered the black person. Not physically in color, but he was to play the role of the dark. And the 3 of them would, in the past, try to maintain balance on the planet. Originally, they were 3 different covens, and they all reported to the same people we discussed earlier, Monday. What day is it? On Monday. Now, the 3 original gentlemen are gone.
Okay.
But originally 3 people came in and took their place. The one who played the role of the white had passed away, so the black gentleman decided to be both. And this guy, yes, I'm calling him Mr. Black, Mr. White, because there's no title for these coven people.
Okay.
So there were 3 people that came in and started to play the role of coven leaders. And these, they're now down to 2, and then as of this morning, they're now down to none. However, we found one of them hiding out under the central bank in Thailand, one of them hiding out in Jamaica, another one hiding out in Bhutan, and they had each had respectively, one of them was a clone, and then each one had 2 clones left. I know, doppelgangers, whatever you want to call them, and they were playing the role of the 3 men who run the world.
Wow, they had that much authority, Kim?
No, but they play one on TV. If you're old enough to remember that one. I'm not really a doctor, but I play one on TV. These people aren't really have any authority, but they play one. But the entire world was hanging on everything that these 2 men said.
Wow.
The entire world. Meaning the Pentagon, on Monday, which was rather confusing, Monday afternoon, after we recorded the news, actually went to the Treasury and tried to issue Treasury notes based on the fact that they said they had an approval to do this. And they were all happy. They had gotten the approval apparently sometime over the weekend. And they tried to issue an enormous amount of Treasury notes against what they thought was these accounts. Okay. But as I had told you on Monday, I started working feverishly throughout the weekend and also on Monday and any remnants left on Tuesday to get rid of everything that was hanging there in Web 5.
Mm-hmm.
So turns out whatever they were planning on leveraging was against one of the things that I had taken out, so nothing actually worked. But this left everybody really confused because they thought that they were in charge. They're even reporting online that the military is now in charge of the financial system, quantum financial systems, all these types of things. And it was because one of these men gave them approval. Now, this particular man also held the title of Golden Eagle, which is why their approval came on a yellow paper. And he is also Chinese. I know. Paper. You cannot make this stuff up. I'm like, the whole world is listening to these people?
They're waiting for a yellow piece of paper.
So turns out what happened to Angel Marcos is once I had done the assignments way back in 2012, he eventually was forced into jail by these same people. And then they took over everything and told them, the whole world, that these assets were theirs.
Did they have any proof? Like they can just say stuff and people just believe them because of a title?
Yeah. And some rings and maybe some fancy jewelry and stuff and a suit. I don't know. I know. I need a Chinese man costume stat. Anybody is a costume maker listening to this report, I need to be an old Chinese man with some funky jewelry because apparently that gets the job done every time. But the Pentagon was dependent on them, Treasury, everybody was dependent on them. But remember, this was something, if you had a higher clearance, you could actually see. It's just that nobody could touch it.
Okay.
And so this was the base root behind them claiming that they had control over everything and that there was cryptocurrency involved and all kinds of things. So over the last couple of days, since we started the end of last week, making things disappear, over 40 banks in China have gone belly up.
Is that coming out in the media at all? Because I haven't seen anything.
Yes. We've got a video clip of that. Yes, okay. Yes.
So this is one of the banks, obviously.
This is the central bank, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously these are people that have accounts that want to get in and they're not able to access anything. They just got cut off.
Well, these 40 smaller banks were absorbed into some larger banks, but there's a lot of people's accounts that didn't quite migrate over. There's there are database issues, and a lot of people in Hong Kong and in China are having a lot of difficulty accessing their money they had on deposit.
Wow.
China was in really deep in this situation due to the fact that they had created, or the deep state of China had created their own fake Mei Hua, who took up residency in the Jade Temple in Shanghai. So fake Mei Hua was giving instructions to the fake generals, the Mr. Black, Mr. White, Mr. Neutral over there, and they created this worldwide scam based on assignments I did years ago. So because of the report that we put out on Monday, everybody's starting to figure out what's really happening. Okay. Now, even the fake Mei Hua and the fake generals had no idea I was the one that made the assignments until Monday. So by last night, these gentlemen, thank God, desperation leads to, well, in this case, death, but it actually leads for people to do desperate things and not really think when they do things, and panic sets in. So because these guys made all these promises to all these governments, this was even discussed at the G8. Oh, yes.
So when the operatives got together before the G8 really started.
Oh, yeah. A month, okay. 2 months before. And all these countries were signing up. So far, we've received calls from Thailand. We've received calls from the Philippines, Vietnam, Laos, a couple of different countries in Europe as to what the heck is going on, because this was what was holding up the entire financial system of the world, in the promise that money from there was going to be released by the 15th of July.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear. A whole lot of promises and a whole lot of no delivery. So when it all started disappearing, a country started panicking. We received panic calls from China overnight last night saying, we have gold, we have gold. I said, are you sure you do? No, you don't. Because that went as part of that OITC system. They had actually assigned gold, not assigned it as an ownership transfer, but had assigned gold to every country in the world as part of that system.
Wow.
From the assignments that I did in the depositories that I put there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was so like, are you kidding me right now? But it all tied back to these few people. And technically, they're not even the original people. They are doppelgangers or clones or whatever you want to call them, playing the role.
So that was just for the humans. That was a front for the humans, right? Because if they really think that some aliens are going to, be fooled by someone in a mask or a doppelganger, clone, whatever, obviously that wouldn't happen, right?
Well, I don't even think these people are aware of who is really behind them.
Oh.
The only thing they knew most recently is that they're now in trouble because they started receiving lots of phone calls as things disappeared. Yeah. Oh, it's just a glitch. Don't worry. We're going to take care of it. Now, there was a phone call that was placed last night to a person I know and speak to directly from one of these men that this person thought was the end-all be-all of the financial system of the world. Because people don't know. A lot of these operatives and stuff don't know.
Yeah.
And this happens to be someone I know directly. And this guy was actually involved in some of the trading of the off-ledger funds.
Okay.
Of course, the money couldn't come out yet. They'll have allocations when the Federal Reserve contract transfers over. Don't worry. We're taking it all over. Yeah, right. But this person, one of these guys that we're discussing, it was actually Mr. Black and White. Let's call him Mr. Black and White. Mr. Black and White called this person directly and tried to order this guy to call me and make me a ridiculous offer.
Why can't they just call you directly, this guy? Just not wanting to give you credibility?
Personally, they always have their people handle things. They don't, they keep this like guard of anonymity or something. It's like to show power or something. And actually, this person had never even spoken to this guy directly before, ever. He always had someone in between.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks that those someones in between are the ones that are in charge, too. So it kind of keeps that anonymous thing going. Because remember, out of these people, two of them, out of the two that were left, I should say, out of these people, both of them had actually been declared legally dead.
It's such a strange world.
Oh, my God. Their whole world is crazy. They loved masked people. They loved doppelgangers. They loved, to keep the illusion alive of power. But this guy had no choice but to call anybody that he knew directly that would call me and get me to do a reassignment to them.
Yeah. Now,
I'm supposed to be having this phone call today. He doesn't know that I know that this phone call was made. Additionally, in addition to that, some of the government departments that were dependent on this, whatever you want to call it, fake scam, worldwide scam of every country in the world, they would also like to make me an offer. And from what I understand, they teeter-tottered around the percentages that I would get for replacing this facility. And they would like to give me 1%. That's what they landed on, 1%. And the more, of course, I put in, the more I'll get.
You hold the cards.
See, Sonny, you're so smart when it comes to this. Now, the 2% agreement I had years ago had to do with an old agreement that I inherited that had lasted for over 100 years. I obviously am not 100 years old. I feel it some days, but not today. So I'm like, that ship sailed, honey. That ship sailed like 5, 6, 7 years ago. That is sailed. Woo, way out the window. So I know that these people would love to have their stuff back. Really, I do. But unfortunately, overnight, last night, they all passed away, including the lady in Shanghai. So there's really no one. Now, are they going to put another fake person with the same name in that same slot? I don't know. I don't know who's next. But it would be wise, if you're listening to this, not to take that position, because I promise you're going to land in a whole sack of crap with nothing to offer anybody except for a lie, a pretty ring, and a strange-looking necklace. That's all.
Yeah.
So connections and all of this stuff. Now, to further add to this, these people are actually even ordering people like the Palavancinis, the Silent Circle, Orsini's. Oh, yes. And this is why everything is screwed up in this world, because nothing is making any sense. Because they don't know what the heck they're doing.
Yeah. And nobody knows the structure. Nobody knows how things were really set up.
No.
Yeah.
They just know that this guy had some stuff. And at the time, there was that UN line, UNOITC line there. And they put the stuff in there. And then these guys came in and took it over. So it's dog eat dog when you want world domination. And who's going to be on top? It's like that game that you play with your hands, as a kid. You put whoever's hand lands on top wins, But this whole thing is crumbling. And it's starting to hit home with banks in China and in other places because they were the most heavily leveraged. But when it comes to the U.S., so far today, they're telling the banks that it's just a glitch. And that we'll have the system back up later today. Now, why is that? They think that this person they're going to have talk to me is actually bought into the program, which from what I can tell is not. Now, I don't think he understands the extent of the amount of people that are aware that this person exists. I don't think he is aware, he's fully well aware of his technologies and his capabilities. Let's put it that way, because he's been a financial contract operative for a number of governments, meaning he's run trade programs, operations, high level leveraging and those kind of things for years, on the promise that he was just looking to finish up some technology of his own that he'd like to own on his own, that he has, and then he wants to buy some other telecommunications, that kind of stuff. I mean, he's not really looking to have billions and billions of dollars, and he definitely hates the Fed. He hates, so the mindset is right. I just think he thought that he was doing something good by trying to hold up the financial system, and the new QFS is coming out, and everybody's sold the same bill of goods by the same crazy people with some proof that there's something there that could potentially be released in the future.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, at the base root of that ugly tree was something I had done in 2012. Isn't that crazy? The base root of every war, Gaza, SSP, crazy people, Trump in office, who's backing who, political operatives, movements that you're seeing in the news that sound crazy, both alt media and the media, all of it traces back to these guys who stole something I did way back in 2012. Now, I have learned an awful lot since 2012. I have been schooled by every operative in every country and every language you can possibly imagine since that time. And I can promise you that I have no respect for any of these people. And as I have proven overnight, everything bleeds and everything dies. And I've told them that. And I also had a very heated phone conversation with somebody. And, like I said, you call the right phone. It's not this person that I was talking to. It's the phone. And I said, I don't care if we have a government or not.
Yeah.
I don't care if they want to listen to these crazy people. These people at global headquarters even went over to Thailand and did the weirdo ceremony and got some stupid clearance that doesn't work. Got some codes, master keys, and it doesn't work.
Did they know that?
Of course they know it doesn't work. We run up against each other every day. I'm like, access what? No. Denied.
Denied.
Yeah. Push the deny button. I don't even think my button that says deny actually it's like so worn out now from using, like how your space bar, gets, it usually gets all worn out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The letters are gone. Yeah.
Yeah. And the plastic starts to even have a little dip in it after a while if you had the computer long enough. Yeah. That's my deny button. And I'm like, where are they getting this information from? Who the heck is doing? Now I know.
Wow.
So dead guy over there had to die before I had this phone conversation I'm supposed to have today. And anybody else who thinks I'm going to take 1% probably will also pass away before this phone conversation takes place later on this afternoon. Because no way am I going to participate in this, whatever that it was. But this particular person does have the technology to do a lot of things for life assurance. Mm-hmm. He has a lot of telecommunications experience. He has a lot of algorithms. He has a lot of trading. There could be, it would take me probably an hour to set up a platform for this guy to help the people. Mm-hmm. That, of course, would be underneath my system and something that we also would need to talk about how the structure is different and that kind of thing. But he could make a lot of money and do a lot of good things as long as he understands that there could be possibly good things for, he's got a particular I don't know. We'll see. In some ways he's been messed around, in a lot of ways by the DOD, by a lot of different government departments. So there'd have to be some kind of a structure there, whereas he would come under a different umbrella, that kind of thing, and help us with cybersecurity and stuff like that, and be paid very well for doing that. We'll see. We'll see which side of the fence he plays on once he has all the information and all the details. But it could get very interesting. But as far as these people and their approval from One Hung Lo over there in Thailand or something, I cannot help you. I don't know that person. I wasn't involved in that. And why do you expect me to clean up their mess?
Yeah.
No, we're here to be very, very clear. We are here to support humanity through this change and restore not only the planet, but also the people. Yeah. Now, as far as the 90% of the people or 95% of the people on this planet that have no idea what I'm talking about right now, we all as a collective group are going to support the people. Mm-hmm. We will have new programs, new ways of getting food, new agricultural programs, all kinds of things that will support the people in a sovereign way, meaning I don't need to control it. I just need to somewhat, in some way, the management team of CARE will be, for lack of a better term, managing it until people can manage everything themselves. Mm-hmm. We're not creating new dictators here or anything like that. We are looking to fix, because every system is broken. And we can't go back. There's no going back. Our water systems are terrible. Even in first world countries, if that's what you want to call them. And I hate using that term because people are people, land is land. But even in America, our sewage systems are horrible. Our water systems are terrible. We need, our bridges are falling apart. Our roads are falling apart. Every system is broken. Even in Europe. I've stayed in 5-star hotels in Europe in the past, obviously not recently, but in the past, where I turn on the tub to take a bath and the water runs brown.
So, Kim, I'm staying in a hotel right now. I was telling Mike this before we started recording. This is a very well-known hotel. I'll just leave it at that. Whole structure of hotels right around the country. Mm-hmm. We have no air conditioning. It broke. The staff is almost zero. There was like one person working last night. The telephones went dead. We have internet. That's how I'm able to talk to you right now. There's stains all over everything. The furniture's falling apart. And this is a top hotel chain. So I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like, what is going on here? This stuff is falling apart, and this is not how it always, was. This was a very well-respected hotel chain not too long ago.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think you're in like roadside motel, the motel. Yeah.
No.
I know.
In a big city too. So yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, it's incredible to me just how bad everything has gotten, because remember, the government feeds the beast.
Yep.
They used to do long-term contracts every year to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars with all the major chains in the event of a disaster, or personnel need to travel and stay at like a Marriott, from the Pentagon into a foreign country or something like that. They would have these big contracts. And they would get the first right of refusal on rooms. Same thing with United Airlines, American Airlines. And as the beast is no longer feeding the 10,000 corporations that were listed underneath this thing, you're going to see a lot more of this stuff breaking down. You're going to see shortages of your non-favorite processed, disgusting foods. You'll start seeing everything break down as those corporations are not being fed, and the credit lines that they had against fake assets go away. Mm-hmm. Remember, these guys were all about controlling every single thing in the world, but yet had no mental capacity to even understand that if they had achieved their goal.
Yeah.
So are there more people with these people? I have no idea. But at this point in time, they have left every country that signed up for this crazy scam, including the United States, like dry.
Wow.
And those assignments expired anyway, more than 2 years ago. I just didn't know that they were still using them for something crazy and to scam people and to scam countries out of money. Mm-hmm. What are they going to do from here? Is there going to be a war? Are people going to continue to operate under the pretense that this is going to work? I have no idea. But the one thing I can tell you is that regardless of which way my phone conversation goes this afternoon, I am not participating in your cray-cray.
What do you think about the banks? We talked a little bit about the banks in China, but what about USA banks and other banks around the world? Are you expecting banks to start to go under, or what do you think?
Banks need to make a life choice at this point, because the fantasy and the false assets are not there. Right now, they're telling everybody that it's just a computer glitch. I mean, it's only Wednesday, all this stuff started disappearing on Monday. It's just a glitch, we'll get it fixed. Give us till Friday, just hang on there, don't worry about it, kind of thing. And come next week, things are going to start getting really desperate. I don't see a run on the banks, depending on how this goes today. There could be a lot of other positive things that could come out of this, meaning different relationships, different service fees, different service providers instead of custodial and this asset weirdo thing. And then remember, the agreement with the Federal Reserve already expired, although these banks are under the impression that it was extended till July 15th, which was a lie.
Okay.
So banks right now are living also a lie, thinking that they have contracts with the Fed until at least the 15th of July this year. And once they find out they don't, I mean, it's 5 days away. I mean, literally that's next week. So, can we make some kind of deal in the interim? Can we get this ball rolling in another direction? I don't know if we can do it in 5 days or not, but the one thing is for sure that they're going to figure out that dog doesn't hunt anymore. At some point, everybody kind of starts paying attention. The Fed is panicking right now. I know that there's a lot of tension there today because the information is getting out there that they also have been lied to. They're waiting for a phone call back from a dead person as well. So is the military here in the U.S. So,
for those agreements, Kim, that have expired, is it worth sending them or somehow connecting them to the archivist for information on that so we don't have to wait until the 15th? Or is it just better to let this thing play out?
Well, here's the problem with that. So on Sunday night, I know that the archivist had a meeting with some military people on Sunday, and they, obviously showed their approval from crazy person, crazy Asian, and they obviously didn't hear them well enough because on Monday they still went to the Treasury to do the same thing they were planning on doing anyway. In their opinion, they just want they would rather listen to a pleasant lie than the ugly truth. They're going to try it anyway, and it failed anyway, just like the archivist told them it was going to fail, and that all roads lead to Kim. Well, then we did the report on Monday, and they started thinking, but they don't know this angel person. They only know one hung low there in Thailand or wherever they go. Those are the people that they know and recognize as the ultimate authority. So now the word is getting out that they're not the ultimate authority, and nobody's calling anybody back. So you may want to send somebody, if you're with the military or global headquarters or whoever you are, over there to do a wellness check on your friends, because we did leave the one in Thailand under the central bank, but in the palace, sorry, not the central bank. So we'll see, we'll see if this information comes to light, for them. They're a little slow on the uptick. So, there's probably a little bit more cleanup I've been doing this morning of some other things, just some fake mirrored accounts and things like that. So it's not an easy cleanup. It was a mess. It was a hot mess. Tied to the central banking system and all kinds of different things. And we'll clean it all up because it doesn't need to be there. And not only that, some of the people involved there have been using those little webs and lines and networks and that kind of thing to block us from transferring. So I don't really want to run into these people anymore. They said they want to go it alone. I guess we'll go it alone too and just do what we do. Okay. And we'll see, if we have a new person that's willing to participate in that by the end of the day. So I'll report on that on Friday and let you know how that goes. But there's more and more people that are starting to question, what is the reality here? What is the financial reality? Where's the money? Where's the, what is this new currency? What is it? There are countries asking us for credits. And credits against gold that I know they don't have. So I don't know if they didn't go to check overnight or what. I don't know. But it's all going to go away. If I miss something, it'll go away in the next 24 hours because I'm just going one thing after another thing after another thing until it's all gone. And the scam is over and the people are gone. And are they going to appoint new people? I have no idea. But you can't perform either. People are calling those people, telling them to fix it because they're the ones that have told everybody they're in charge of this show. Yeah. So go fix it. Yeah, that's not happening. So they're trying to buy time. They are trying to buy time to the 15th, claiming, and this is what they've been doing even before the stuff went to disappear, they're claiming they can't issue new allocations under the new quantum financial system until the agreement with the Fed expires on the 15th of July. Yeah. Come the 15th of July, you'll be no better off than you were on the 14th or today.
Yeah, there'll be another excuse.
But because you have a cool looking Chinese mask and a cool looking jewelry and a cool suit, you know, everybody listens to you. So I'm going to be in the market pretty soon for some kind of a Chinese man mask. You know, anybody maybe that worked in the mask division of the CIA, you know, just go ahead and, you know, let me know where I can order one from, and I'll get right on that because it seems to work.
Apparently.
Yeah. And then you have to act like an arrogant donkey. You know, you have to be really arrogant and disgusting behavior and, you know, expect all the best of everything to be handed to you, that kind of stuff. So I can get an attitude like that. I can do that. If it's going to make, you know, the world work, you know, fine.
Wow. It's crazy.
No, wouldn't that be funny? I'll come on to do the news in my Chinese man costume.
Is that you, Kim? Who is that?
Yeah, you got to be an old Chinese man to get anything done in this world.
Yeah, you need one of those voice modulator things. I was watching, well, I wasn't really watching. My family was watching something on Fox News or whatever, and Trump, there was a soundbite from Trump, and I was like, does anyone notice that doesn't even really sound like him? Like, yeah. What? They're just like, you know, watching the TV. I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, you need one of those little voice modulator things to make you sound like.
Well, I can call Team Bubba and get one because apparently they have one.
Oh, God.
Remember that?
Oh, their AI stuff that they like to mix up and edit clips to say whatever they want to say. Yeah.
Well, it's over now. Apparently they quit. So.
Yeah. Well, they should have. They should have quit a long time ago. They're not very good at their job.
No, God bless them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's pretty much what's going on in the world right now. We're kind of, and that's part of the reason why I was a little bit late in recording, is because it's just starting to ripple out. You know, It takes a little while when something this major happens for it to ripple out. Then, of course, there's the lies that go along with it. Just hang on, there's a glitch, blah, blah, blah. We're installing the upgraded version, you know, all of this crazy stuff. And really, it's just all dependent on poor guy that I'm going to get on the phone with in a couple hours. Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, there were never any glitches before, but now there's glitches everywhere. But don't worry, it's okay. We've got this under control.
Yeah. Maybe my Chinese name should be Glitch.
Glitch? I don't think that sounds very Chinese.
Oh. Oh, Glitch.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Those guys are...
All right, I'll keep thinking about it. Maybe there's whatever the Chinese word is for glitch, you know.
Yeah, we may have to do some research on that.
I know. I'll research it and get back to you, China. Oh, what a day.
I know. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. You've got your meeting today, you said, with that guy?
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens between now and Friday.
All right.
Hopefully we'll have some good news for CARE.
That would be amazing. Yeah. So let's hope for wise decisions on their part.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kim.
Have a good Wednesday.
All right. You too.
Want to share news from UNN? Help us change the face of social media and use it for good. Connect with us through our online channels. Our social media team creates clips from